Hey everyone, and welcome to The Deep Dive. I'm Chris.
And I'm Cassie.
So today we're diving into something a lot of you seem curious about. How to actually make some extra money without, selling things directly.
Right. No direct sales involved. We've looked at some info highlighting four specific side hustles that fit that bill.
Exactly. And the plan is to really get into these, figure out how they work, and maybe help you see if, skills you already have could plug into these.
Yeah, we know you want the info without getting totally bogged down, so we'll keep it engaging and clear.
We're basically looking at 4 different routes to maybe boosting your income using what you've already got.
We're going to cover niche tutoring, then voiceover work, also virtual assistants, that's a big one, and finally, transcription services.
Okay, great. Let's kick things off with niche tutoring. Now, tutors might make you think, high school math or something.
Right, or maybe French class. But the info we saw really paints a much broader picture. It's about sharing expertise in pretty much anything you're good at.
Anything? Like what?
Well, beyond the obvious school subjects, math, languages, science, test prep, that kind of stuff, there's a huge demand for things like music lessons, guitar, singing, sports coaching, arts and crafts, even like public speaking skills, coding, photography, personal fitness coaching too. Seriously, if you've got a skill, chances are someone wants to learn it.
And financially, is it worth the time?
Well, it seems like it can be, yeah. Depending on how specific your niche is, the potential is apparently up to like $150 an hour.
Wow. Okay. $150 an hour just for sharing something you know.
Exactly. And it's not some tiny market either. The projections for the U.S. private tooling market, it's expected to grow by almost $29 billion between now and 2029.
$29 billion?
Yeah, with an annual growth rate over 11%. That's pretty significant. It shows there's real growing demand.
So maybe listeners should think about, what do friends always ask them for help with?
That's a great way to think about it, yeah. That could totally be your starting point.
All right, so that's tutoring, leveraging specific knowledge. What's next? Voiceovers. That sounds different.
It does, yeah. Using your voice as the asset. And it's surprisingly varied work.
How so?
Well, think about educational videos, corporate training modules, audiobooks, obviously,
right,
but also radio or TV ads, video game characters, even dubbing for foreign films. Lots of possibilities.
Okay, and the money. We mentioned tutoring can hit $150. What about voice work?
Oh, for something like audiobook narration, the figures we saw suggest around $200 to $300 per finished hour of audio.
Per finished hour. Okay, so not per hour you spend recording necessarily.
Exactly. It takes longer to record and edit, but say a typical audiobook is, 4 to 6 finished hours. That could mean around $1,500 for one book project.
It's actually quite substantial for a side project.
It can be. And what's interesting too is, everyone talks about AI voices.
Yeah, are robots taking over?
Well, maybe eventually for some things, but the audiobook market, for instance, is still projected to grow massively, like to $56 billion by 2032. Wow.
So that suggests there's still a really strong desire for, authentic human voices. AI isn't quite there yet for everything.
Okay, that's reassuring. So if someone's listening and thinking, hey, maybe my voice, how do they even start?
Good question. The advice points toward building a portfolio first. Practice reading scripts, work on your vocal delivery, maybe record some samples.
So showcase what you can do.
Exactly. And you'll need a decent, quiet place to record. Doesn't have to be a pro studio right away, but quiet is key.
Makes sense. Any places to find gigs?
Yeah, there are platforms. Voices.com is a big one. Filmless, Envato. Places like that are good starting points to look for opportunities.
Got it. Okay, so we've done knowledge with tutoring, with voiceovers. What about people who are just really, really organized?
Yes. Perfect transition to our third one. Virtual assistants or VA work.
Right, VAs. I hear that term a lot. What does it actually involve day to day? Is it just admin stuff? It often starts there, yeah. Things like managing emails, handling calls, scheduling appointments, booking travel, maybe some basic bookkeeping, stuff you do from home.
Okay, standard office support, but remote.
Pretty much. But it can go way beyond that. Lots of VAs handle social media management for clients now, do research, create content, even organize virtual events.
So it can get quite specialized.
Definitely. You see VAs specializing in things like web development support, graphic design tasks, project management. If you have specific tech or creative skills, you can carve out a niche.
And the pay for being a VA, what's typical?
The average rate seems to be around $27.95 per hour. Maybe a bit more, a bit less, depending.
Okay, about $28 an hour.
Yeah. But that can definitely go up with experience, good reviews, and especially if you specialize in those higher demand skills we mentioned.
Right. And is this a growing field like the others?
Oh, absolutely. The global VA market is exploding, expected to hit over $44 billion by 2027. The compound annual growth rate is something like 20%, huge growth.
Wow. So lots of opportunity there if you've got those organizational or tech skills.
For sure. It's a really solid option for remote work.
Okay, that brings us to number 4. What's the last one?
Transcription services.
Typing things out. So listening to audio and writing it down.
Essentially, yes. Creating written copies of audio or video recordings. Think podcasts, webinars, meeting recordings, live events.
Okay. What kind of skills do you need for that? Just fast typing.
Fast typing is definitely important, yeah. But also really good listening skills, catching words accurately, even with accents or background noise. Plus, attention to detail and strong grammar are key. You need the final text to be accurate and readable.
Right. Makes sense. What's the general pay like for transcription work?
Generally speaking, around $23 an hour seems to be a common figure.
$23 an hour. Okay.
But this is where specialization can make a huge difference again.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, if you get into specialized fields like, say, legal transcription, experienced legal transcriptionists can apparently earn up to $83,000 a year.
$83,000. Wow.
Yeah. And medical transcriptionists, similarly, can earn up to around $89,000 a year. Those require specific training and knowledge, obviously, but the potential is much higher.
That's a massive jump from the general rate. And the overall industry. Is there demand?
Seems so. The whole transcription industry is projected to reach about $32 billion by 2032. So, yeah, growing demand across different sectors.
So if you're a quick typist with a good ear, this is definitely worth looking into, especially those specializations.
Exactly. Another solid way to monetize skills you might already have.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap. We've dug into 4 potential side hustles, none involving direct selling.
Right. We had niche tutoring.
Leveraging your specific knowledge or skills.
Then voiceover work.
Using your actual voice.
Virtual assistants.
For the organized and tech-savvy folks.
And finally, transcription services.
Capitalizing on typing and listening skills.
And each one offers a pretty different way to potentially earn extra income, really based on what you bring to the table already.
Hopefully, hearing about these has sparked some ideas for listeners, maybe made you think differently about some of your own abilities.
Yeah, it's interesting how skills we just sort of have could actually be valuable income streams.
Definitely. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Just take a moment later today, maybe tonight, and really think, what are you actually good at? What do you enjoy? What do people always ask for your help with? One of these areas we talked about, or maybe something similar, could be sitting right there waiting for you.
It's worth considering, for sure.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell for more real talk on hot, viral topics. Tell us what topic you want us to deep dive on in the comments section. Bye, everyone, and see you again in our next podcast.